I'm not going to read.
She was killed. I'm seeing heads shaking. We remember her. We lost a young child who went to visit with his, what didn't happen at PEC, went to visit over the weekend, and his mom's boyfriend beat that child to death. We've lost children to SIDS. We've lost mothers. And they are who we shouldn't be losing in the future. And as long as we're here, we only lose 1 out of 1,000, but each one of those young people and old people deserved a better life. And so I want to ask each of you to keep us in your prayers. Keep PEC and our people in your prayers. I'm like making an idiot out of myself up here crying. But that's what we're about, and that's what we will continue to be about. If it's not 30 units of housing here, it's going to be 300, and it's going to be 3,000. And we're going to continue to make safe, affordable housing where young mothers can raise their children. I'm looking across over here at the parking lot that we fixed. That place used to be piled with abandoned cars. It is now a beautiful place with a beautiful mosaic. We'll continue to work with the Horticulture Society, so we have beautiful gardens. If you go around the corner, you'll see our playground that used to be a dump site. We got one morning I was driving to work, and it was the beginning of the war in Iraq, the first one, first George war in Iraq. And then it ended. And I'm saying to myself, what is that National Guard doing anyway? They have nothing to do. The war's over. Seriously. So I went right down to the Federal Building, and I talked to my friends down there, and I said, you get the National Guard up here to clear this lot, because we're going to make a playground out of it. And what could they do? They were over there. We made a playground. Anyway, so even out of the ashes, we can have some hope. I want you to know that on top of the other bad news, and I don't mean to do this, I'm going to finish with good news, I swear to God. The other bad news is right now, today, there are problems at our Public Housing Authority. We all know this. Those problems at the Public Housing Authority have brought a total and dead halt to the movement of families out of these centers into permanent housing. We have to move 3, in fact we have a commitment to move 3 families a month out of here into permanent housing. So far since January 1st, we've moved 9 families. We should have moved 18 between January and July. We didn't, we moved 9. From July to now, we have moved none. If we continue at this pace, a family that came in here 2 weeks ago, Terry told me there's a young woman named Tasha, I think, with a 10-year-old boy. If we continue at this pace, Tasha's going to be here in 2017. We cannot put up with that as a city. As our city leaders, as our congressional leaders, as our state reps in Harrisburg, you know I'm talking to you. We have got to do something about moving these families out of here. It is in the hands of the public sector. J.D. Blackwell on the PHA board, I'm talking to you. I mean it. We got to move these families out because it is doing no one a favor to have a child raised in a homeless shelter for 5 years. And none of us should tolerate that. And I hope there's somebody here from the press to put that. If you remember anything I say today, please remember that. We got to get behind the government and make them do their job. Because if we don't, like the pit bulls that we all are, and I'm looking at a bunch of them right now, you know, we're not going to be doing right by them and by God. Finally, I would really, besides giving Mary Fields a big kiss and thanking her for being up here with me, I'd like to recognize my family, my partner of 24 years, my son and my daughter. They're the good-looking short ones in the back. And to say that 22 years ago, we were in the church, we had one computer, and Mary and I would share it. It was a compact and had a black screen with green writing. Does anybody remember these things? And we had to stretch the cable through the office on the floor. So anybody who came in the door was likely to like trip over, kill themselves, and then sue us. So the day that I remember the most, besides meeting Mark Schwartz, our lawyer, was the day that these two really handsome guys pull up into the parking lot. Rich is good looking now. You should have seen him 20 years ago. I'm serious. And his partner, John, nothing to laugh at. They get out of their, what was it? An MG, a Jaguar, I don't know what it was, but it was a nice car. And you know, every single woman in that shelter is like, and then they look at the car, then they look at the guy, and they had these nice suits on, and they had the Gucci shoes on, and they're like, oh, where are we? You know? And I'm like, excuse me, walk over the cords in the office, and we're talking. We start to think through what was going to be this. And you guys never knew this because I never disclosed it till today. But as I was talking to you, I saw one of our many little friends in the church, also named as a cockroach, crawling. It was coming from behind Mary's desk towards you. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to send these guys home with cockroaches in there. We can't do this. So I got up from my desk and I was talking to them and I was gesticulating. And they never knew the difference. And that was the beginning of a relationship, and you never even had to know about it. We don't have cockroaches today. We have great buildings, we have great new leadership. Welcome, Farah. We have a wonderful board, we have a community, and we have God on our side. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is really quite lovely.
So you all have to come back when you see it permanently affixed on our wall. And I'm inviting Janine up here, but before she gives some closing remarks and tells you how you might tour our facility, I did want to do one special thing, which is ask all of you as you walk in here and join us in a tour that you thank the social services team in particular, because this was quite disruptive to their lives as they were trying to continue their work of case management and supporting our clients.